Hey, this is the national treasure, Nick Aldis, and you're listening to the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to another edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. We are your host. He is the Stallion. He is cloaked, but he is the Stallion. And this week we have a very special guest, brand new to Ring of Honor. You might know her as the leader of the Fiend Club, Kellyanne. Welcome to the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your day, in the future, technically, across the world to join us. It is awesome.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. I thought it was about time that I, converse with my fans a little bit because I don't do podcasts. I really very rarely do them. But for some reason, you sold me straight away with that dog.
Oh my!
Straight away.
I don't do much well, but I pimp out my dogs very well, it seems. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. We are on it was Halloween yesterday or a day and a half ago. How was your Halloween? What did we do? What happened on Halloween?
Well, in Australia, they don't like Halloween at all. So, no celebrations. And also, we just came out of the strictest lockdown ever. We couldn't leave for 5 kilometers from our house. We had people, there was like checks, so like you couldn't go anywhere. You definitely couldn't knock on doors and trick or treat.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, so I spent my Halloween playing World of Warcraft, and you know what? That's fine because they have Halloween events on there. You know,
Okay.
I've got my friends on. I don't have any friends, but I've got friends on there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So yeah, I had a great Halloween. Riveting. What did you do?
That is well. We're in New York, and New York also has like a wildly strict. You get shot if you leave your house kind of lockdown now.
Okay.
So we kind of just stayed home and I watched Halloween 3 through 6 yesterday. So that was my riveting Halloween as well. So nothing too exciting. So you guys are really in like what are the rules and regulations? How long is it going on? Are you even allowed to go to the gym? What's going on?
Well, we were in a strict lockdown. So we were in stage 4 for about 8 months. So what that meant was no gym, no seeing friends, no seeing family, no shops are open, literally nothing. You are only allowed to leave your house to exercise or go to work or for like an emergency, like caring reasons. So, it's a really strange feeling going from, almost moving to America and living your dream to then being, locked down with this crazy airborne virus. Like
I believe they call it Corona Mania is last.
Oh yeah, that's it. So I haven't wrestled for 8 months. I just got back in the gym and I feel like I'm disabled now. I got too excited. I was like, oh, like I want to try all these machines.
I could do everything I used to do, even though it was 8 months ago. Yeah,
that's it. I lost about 12 kilos, which sounds great, but, I enjoyed being muscly, you know what I mean? So I look all little and brittle. And honestly, I'm like a shadow of myself. So we just came out of lockdown, so there's positives, and now things are going back to normal. So
okay, I'm glad to hear that. See, we're like going the opposite way in New York and in America, where like we were in such a crazy lockdown and we weren't, and now it's like boom, most cases ever in one day. So
you guys were having so our outbreak was 7 cases. That's an outbreak. Now, what were you guys getting a day? Like 20,000 cases or something obscene?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes 42 was the other day. Whatever. I mean, listen, I make the joke, and I probably shouldn't because I was sick with the coronavirus in late February, and
you actually got the Rona?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I believe I did get the Rona. I had no sense of taste or smell for like 3 weeks. It was crazy. The only thing I could taste was like a tiny little bit of hot sauce. Like if I guzzled hot sauce, I would feel a burning. That was the only thing, which also kickstarted my weight loss journey. Because if food tastes like nothing, what does it matter, right? Like it's
Rona diet.
But then I make the joke. I'm like, oh, you can't catch it twice. And studies are like, no, you can. And I'm like, shit. So can't make the joke anymore.
No, that's the thing is as well, like I'm not going to preach on about this because it's not my place, but the amount of fucking news that has contradicted itself. My mum is a firm believer that Bill Gates is trying to kill us. All right. Now, my mom.
If your mom's not busy, have her join the show because I agree with the woman. I'm with you.
Oh my God. Yeah. So prior to this, not once has she ever been interested in political things at all. She's from England. She refuses to become an Australian citizen. She's just not really into any of that stuff. Anyway, so now she's convinced that Bill Gates is killing us. I don't know what to believe because it's all just doesn't make sense.
Nothing. You get it. Yes.
And I could link this on to like Pizzagate and all that, but that's like a whole nother world, and that would take a whole nother podcast.
I mean, I would be 100% in on that podcast, but if your mom is like, why is the guy that created fucking Microsoft Word solving the coronavirus? I'm going to back the woman up because it makes no sense to anybody in America either. So
no, that's it. So look, if my mom's correct, then shit.
So it's good to know what everybody else in the world thinks is going on in America. They're not wrong. So I just hope that things get back to normal for you and normal everyday life and stuff. Yep. It was like it takes a toll on you mentally, like not being able to leave the house and all that.
I feel like I'm going insane. Like every day is the same day, the same fucking day. But the good thing is, I think it's been good for people because it's forced them to go back to hobbies that maybe they neglected or forgot about, because we're all just living on this, like bleh, you know what I mean? And for the first time, it could go either way. You could either be stuck indoors on this, like you're in the Running Man book, or you could, take advantage of it and actually, try to learn about yourself.
Or exactly. There's so many, like, it's like one of the few times in life where you're like, I don't have an excuse not to do something that I've been
exactly right.
So
that's it. Exactly right.
We had spoke to Will Ferrara, and he was like saying the same thing because I think he lives in Maryland or whatever, and they were locked down even worse than we were. And he's like, I couldn't even get to the gym, so I had to focus on like things that I wanted to do. And video games was one of the things that we talked about. So, as a World of Warcraft player, how many hours are we logging in a day?
This is embarrassing. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't do very much apart from go to the gym and play World of Warcraft, all right? I got a very exciting life. I love playing video games. I always have. As a kid, I was pretty much brought up on video games. So I don't know what I'm meant to do in a time like this other than go back to playing video games, Like, I'm awesome. Probably...
Don't feel bad. If you enjoy it, shit, that's great. Like, that's great. Everybody's like, oh, it's so nerdy. Being nerdy about things is awesome because that means you enjoy something to the point of like being that passionate about it. Yes, video games rule.
Exactly.
Joe and I get together on like Ring of Honor pay-per-view days. Like he'll come over. We'll play like Super Nintendo games for like 3 hours clip. Or, we did have a WWF No Mercy battle. I think it was like a year ago. I was Taz and he was Billy Gunn, and we had an hour cage match, and he won. And at the end of it, we looked at each other. We just spent a fucking hour playing No Mercy in a cage match.
Fucking cage match.
Because none of us knew how to climb over the cage. And it's but that's cool. Video games give us an out. And I think like there are so many worse things people can be doing than playing video games right now.
Oh, of course. Like as a kid, I didn't have many friends. I was a very quiet, reserved child. So my world was these worlds online. Like RuneScape was my first big game, and that's where I learned so much, and I learned how to read. I learned to expand my vocabulary and everything. Because I was talking, I know it sounds bad talking to older people on the internet, but it wasn't anything sinister on RuneScape anyways.
Yes, it wasn't anything sinister yet.
On another game, eh?
Right.
But I love it so much. And I've really honestly enjoyed my time with World of Warcraft lately. So yeah.
And gives you time to play it. Listen, Fiends Club. Am I safe to assume you're a big Misfits fan?
Oh yes. I love.
All right. So now Famous Monsters is a big Misfits album. Am I alone in thinking that post Danzig Misfits is still a fantastic group?
I love Danzig by him. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Friday the 13th album. Everybody kind
Love.
of gives him shit when Danzig left, but I was like, his solo stuff is very good, but the Misfits still had a lot of great songs after he
Yes,
left.
I agree. I'm a huge Michael Graves fan. I love Michael Graves, and like now he's gone. You know, he's his own person. He's
Oof.
got his own values and shit. But
Yeah.
to me, I love his music, and I don't give a fuck. Like, let
Right.
them do what they want. But yeah, like growing up, I was my first boyfriend introduced me to the Misfits, and at first I didn't quite understand it. I was like, well, it's just noises. Like they're singing about horror movies. Like what is this? And then I heard Mummy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight? And for some reason, that song resonated with me. And from then on, I just became obsessed and I fucking loved Danzig. I loved everything that he was, his attitude, even though he's a piece of shit. Like he gets knocked out. I've seen videos of him getting knocked out.
That was by
there was-
local New York hardcore band,
Yeah.
Northside Kings. Yep, I'm a big hardcore punk
Very-
rock guy, so I saw that video.
awesome.
And I was like,
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just, there was something about Danzig's voice that I liked because it was so dirty and rough and it wasn't clean. Like Michael was clean and I loved his stuff, but there was something special, the charm that Danzig brought. I actually saw them.
Deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
If like Dracula sang in a punk band, it would be Danzig. That's the best.
That's it. And Danzig's solo stuff, like Devil's Plaything, that song, just everything just works. It's just very nicely done. But I am also a big Michael Graves fan, so I can't choose between the two.
No, and I don't think there should be hate on either version of the Misfits. So
No.
all right, maybe we should. I don't know if we should get to wrestling.
Yeah. That whole thing.
That thing.
Yeah.
It's been, like we talked about, it's been just a terrible year. And it was
Yeah.
February 23rd, 24th, 25th. It was announced you signed to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And it was going to be the tournament. It was, Quest for Gold. It was you. Pretty much everybody we had on the podcast. Not trying to be that guy, but it was you, Lindsay Snow, Heather Monroe, and then this wild airborne fake. I'm just kidding. This wild virus started spreading in the world, and you are relegated to not being able to join Ring of Honor. Everybody that we've had on from Ring of Honor has said the company has done great to take care of them in the interim. So is that a true statement?
Very true. Yeah, especially for me. Like I haven't even wrestled there, and they're looking after me. So yeah,
that is awesome. Good for them doing that. But I also feel like Ring of Honor is one of those companies that in the middle of the pandemic, when some people are like running spot shows and stuff like that, Ring of Honor was like, we're not going to do that. But I feel like they amped up their social media. And they did a really good job of interacting with people. You have some fantastic Ask Me Anythings on there, which are like the meanest things I've ever seen, like in the best way. But how did they come to you and they were like, listen, we want to get you exposed to the fans? Or was that something that you came up with? How did the Ask Me Anything come up with?
So they pretty much said, you know, we're going to come to you guys with some ideas, but if you have any ideas of your own, feel free to send them in. And I was looking at their ideas and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's very much for the kind of wrestler that has no problem with being themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's not about the character. Whereas me, I really wanted to protect Kellyanne as a character because I feel like no one does that anymore. It's all, the lines are blurred. And so I thought, if I really want to prove to Ring of Honor why they've made a good idea in investing in me, I need to show them. Like, I need to do something different. You know, I can easily go, oh, this is my family and we're all good friends. Look how relatable I am. You know, like that's really easy. And it's no shit on anyone else. That works for some, but it doesn't work for others.
Right.
So my partner is a very, very, very talented video maker. He was a wrestler as well. He's a very intelligent, outspoken man. And he has a way of putting my ideas into play. And so, you know, he would help me come up with these videos. And what we wanted was just a lot of attitude. And we wanted to make people think. So a lot of the times, some of the things don't make sense. And that's the point. So you have to find the point I'm trying to make. And I really enjoyed that. I really have fun filming videos because I think in a time like this, you can either use it to build something, or you can just, kind of sit there and just do the bare minimum. And, like I can upload a photo of my body if I want, right? And get about 458,000 likes. But that's not doing anything for my career. That's doing something for my personal gratification. But for my actual career, I need to make something of this time. And so I saw the opportunity and I went with it. And I didn't expect, I know it sounds so little, but I didn't expect to have my own video on their YouTube channel. I didn't expect that. I expected it to be thrown in with all the other stuff. And when I saw them do that, it showed
Like your
me
own
that
playlist.
yeah, they appreciated it. And so then I went from there, and now, every fortnight I send in videos, and here we are, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, so then kudos to you and your partner. The black and white is such a nice touch too. I think it really adds a lot to the videos. Who was the the Species movie reference? I was dead. Who made this? Those videos.
That was Alan's idea. Okay, that was my partner's idea. Now, that guy that sent that in, we made that profile. So we did the whole thing.
I was bought hook, line, and sinker. It was that was, but like, I'm sorry, to quote Species is like such a deep cut that like you have to really be in the know to get that. So
yeah, when I read it, I looked at it. I'm going, Species, really? He's like, don't worry, it makes sense, And I've seen the movie, and I'm like. But so sometimes you do just have to take a risk. There's some comments on there where people are like, oh, she reminds me of Paige on WWE. It's like, shit, man, like just because I'm wearing a leather jacket and I'm pale doesn't mean I'm trying to be someone. Like people these days are so used to others just ripping other people off that they can't see when something original is in their face. So
yeah, and I wonder if it's like the accent thing too. It's like, oh, you guys both don't sound like me, so you must be paid.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that my parents are English. Like, fucking hell.
You can only do so much,
I know. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you had said you have. There's actually a ROH Strong podcast that you were on that is phenomenal. So I want to give people tell people out there and listen to it. You started wrestling at the age of 13, which is just wild to me. I believe you said you and your mother both lied about your age. So
she did. Yeah.
I mean, your mom is really earning some bonus points with me. She kind of seems like a total badass. I'm just gonna throw that out.
She's the best. Look, she is 69 years old. All right, so she's a lot older, but yeah, she's always had my back. She was a single parent, so all I wanted to do was wrestle, and she would use the money that she had to let me wrestle. So I knew like I was either going to make this work or I would just like, I'm letting my mum down. That's how I felt. So yeah, it's been great. And to this day, like she supports me and loves it and records everything on the TV and all that. And she's got posters of me when you walk in the house. I hate it, but yeah.
Oh, but you hate it like in the best way though.
Yeah,
right?
it's like,
oh, take him down. Stop. Then you look at him, you're like, no, it's me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, take him down. I got you. So you started wrestling or started training at 13. I know you were all over the world. You trained with Teddy Hart, in Mexico, and all that stuff. How long after the training at 13 did you have your first match?
Well, look, I got rushed into my first match, so probably about a year in. It's hidden on YouTube, this match.
I was wrestled at 14.
Yeah, so I had my first match at 14. It was at a charity event. So they just threw us all into a rumble, and they said, just do the moves Now, I only knew how to take a DDT at that point, and I also knew how to do a Russian leg sweep. So I was 14, and I idolized Lita at the time. I wore a fishnet top. I looked like I wanted to be Lita. So that happened. In the ring, I refused to get thrown out. No one told me when to get thrown out, so I just refused to get thrown out. And yeah, it was the worst thing ever. I wish it never happened. Like, I think there's nothing worse than forcing someone to jump in when they're not ready. So yeah, not a good idea.
And it's on tape somewhere. I'm not going to ask where it is. I'm not going to share the link, but to me, like nobody should be recorded at 14 because like you're like not even like
I'm a child.
exactly
I'm a
like I don't
baby.
even remember 14 and like I was probably dumb as a bucket of shrimp at 14. Like I don't want anything that I did being on tape. So for you to be in a battle royal, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it
But I
was
mean, it's really
sick.
trial by fire. Like you know, like
Yeah.
like when you're young, you don't have like the anxiety. A lot of people don't. I shouldn't say not everybody, but like the stress and the anxiety and the overthinking it. So
That's it.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe it could have been a good thing at the end of the day.
Look, the person that was filming it moved the camera over to my trainer's face, and he was like this. So I'm confident in saying that it wasn't a good showing.
Yeah.
I took a nice DDT, and that's about it.
Wow. Okay. What made you travel internationally? Was it just trying to learn the ropes? Like you said, I think you said AAA.
Yeah. So my trainer down here was trained by Lance, and that kind of put that in my head that I needed to go get training overseas. So I didn't have much money, but I was lucky enough to get a payout at my age. That was for another reason. But I got the money and I went to Canada for 3 months to train with Lance. And, you know, it wasn't until I went there that things clicked. So I was 18 and I'd been training since I was 13, but I didn't understand what it was that I was doing. I was following a formula, but not actually knowing what it was. And that's no discredit to the schools back home, but I was just too young.
Right.
And going to Canada and being forced to grow up, being away from my mum for the first time for 3 months in another country, it almost happened overnight that I just got it. And if it wasn't for the training at Lance's that I received, there's no way that I would be as confident as I was. And obviously over there, I met Teddy Hart, and I lived with him for a month before I went to Mexico. And
I'm sure that was completely normal, right? Like there weren't like 3,000 cats everywhere and all that.
No,
stuff.
I did not see him throw cats at Jim Neidhart. No, it was completely normal. Everything's fine. Look, that's a whole other story.
You know what? I'm water under the bridge, right? Let's just focus.
So,
Wow.
yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah.
Were we talking jumpsuits that whole time? Was he in the jumpsuits?
Yeah. Oh, he was in his gear 24/7. He gave my partner gear as well when we left, you know, like a little going away thing. Look, he taught me to not be afraid of anyone, because that man is the most intimidating man I've ever met in my life. But not towards me, like he was
just like that presence in the
just
aura,
in general,
right?
yeah, like
He's an intense dude.
Yeah, and so living with a man like that, like going to Mexico almost felt like a breeze, which is crazy. And I remember Conan picked us up in the car, and he turns around and he goes, "So how was it staying at Teddy's?" And me and Broderick were like, "Oh, it was fine. We had so much fun. We loved it." And he goes, "What really happened?" And we're like, "Oh, dude, it was fucked." Like, oh my God, you know? So yeah, I feel sorry for the generation today, because I feel like the need to go and train overseas and experience these things is not pushed anymore, because everyone does rely solely on social media. And I feel bad for those that don't get to experience this, you know, like where else would you experience being backstage at Mexico with a man coming up to you trying to inject you with steroids as a young girl? Like, where are you going to experience that shit, you know?
I mean, frankly, that is wildly giving. I mean, that stuff's not cheap. A, B, I think the only place like where WWE have the Performance Center, and for not trying to be that guy, but for better or for worse, if you all train at the same place, you're all going to come out the same type of person.
No
you know,
shit.
I think New Japan, they have it locked down where they train at the dojo and then go on an excursion. Find yourself, be who you are. I mean, look at Jay White.
Need to.
Yeah, Jay White was just Jay White, and then he came back and he's like Blackbeard the Pirate now, which is a pretty.
That's it.
And
that's the thing. If you find when you're only in one place, you're in a bubble, your only inspiration for wrestling comes from wrestling. And I think that when people start venturing out and getting inspiration from other places, whether it be music, games, movies, whatever, that's when they start to become their own person, and their wrestling actually starts to become interesting. We're not just replicating some cool spot we saw on PWG, you know? It's like, you're a character, dude. Like you can be whoever the fuck you want. Like, take advantage of it.
There's no limit on that. But like when you have people telling you what you have to be, it's a little bit different, and that's, you know, for some people it really works, but for other people
Yes.
they want to be a little more diverse, if that's a word, and just that's what's so appealing now with, like you said, the age of social media, and you could literally watch wrestling anywhere at any time, a million different streaming apps. So I think it's, for someone like yourself, like you really, and it shows in the ring, you know, in your wrestling in the ring. Speaking of wrestling, MCW Melbourne is one of the promotions. Now, being an American, so that's the promotion that I'm most familiar with.
Yes.
Is that the largest promotion in Australia?
I would say so. PWA in Sydney is also just as big. That's where Robbie Eagles works. Melbourne, though, MCW, the reason why they have more exposure is because of the people that they brought in. It all started with Will Ospreay. Bringing him down really helped us, because that's when UK was like, you know, the be all and end all for the indies at that point.
Progress was huge then.
Exactly. And I believe that Melbourne or Australia could have gotten to that point. But and this is my opinion, I don't know why Australia insists on having these streaming services, because the reason why Progress and everyone got over and people knew them is because they saw the product. You know, what's the point of withholding these amazing shows for, you know, just to get an extra $8? You know, you're excluding a huge audience on YouTube. Like, even if you upload a few things, like, that's the problem with Australia, is that they don't want to show like they're not showing it, and I don't understand it.
You have to search. You're right. Like, there was, I believe, you and Jordan Grace was from MCW. Yeah, that was a really good match. It was a match with you, Indy Hartwell, and Avery, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But you know, it's few and far between. Whereas you're right, streaming services, you like IWTV. I don't know if you're familiar with that, IndependentWrestling.tv. They do some really good stuff. Ring of Honor, though, I feel like Ring of Honor is a little bit different because the Honor Club, they have such a vast library. I mean, they've been in for 20 years.
That's it. And that's Ring of Honor. Exactly.
That's like the top.
Yeah. Whereas for Australia, you know, you're not going to get you're not going to get many people subscribing to a service. What's the point? Like, there's no reason for them to do that. So that's where I think the downfall is. I don't run a promotion, you know, I have no interest in running one. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that Australia can get to a point where, you know, we can become our own place, but until then. Well,
you are now. So now, are you exclusively? That's like a word, right? Yeah. With Ring of Honor, is that deal? So you can only wrestle for Ring of Honor, or are you still allowed to wrestle?
I can wrestle anywhere in Australia as long as it's not televised. And in America, I'm pretty much exclusive to Ring of Honor. But I can ask, like, hey, can I work this place? Can I do this? You know, for me, I have no problem in that. If being a part of Ring of Honor already is surreal to me. So yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, and Ring of Honor, they don't get enough. You know, there was the Women's Revolution, the Divas Revolution, whatever they wanted to call that. But Ring of Honor, before that, had talents.
Sarah Del Rey.
Yeah.
Like, shit, man, that's revolutionizing women's wrestling.
Yeah,
women like her and Madison Eagles, you know, that's
Daisy Hayes. They were like,
Daisy Hayes.
When they were on HDNet, and that was a station that everybody got. You were watching real women's wrestling at the next level. And then I think Impact did a really good job with it too. But Ring of Honor is the first one that I remember. I was like, whoa, these girls can go. And I didn't know who this person was until I watched it. Now it's like, okay, well, now I'm hooked.
That's it. I think Ring of Honor were one of the first companies to actually produce proper women's wrestling, because then from there came Shimmer and, you know,
Yeah, so all that stuff. I'm
that's where it started.
I'm glad you mentioned Shimmer, because I was going to say Shimmer's one of those promotions right now. They are the women's promotion, Shimmer and Shine, really. And you've worked for Shimmer a lot over here. Was that your first time working in America for Shimmer?
Yeah, it was. And it was so cool because I used to have all the Shimmer DVDs and stuff, you know. So actually being on the roster was like super cool. I was like, yes. So yeah, I loved my time there.
So yeah, Shimmer's, and they just, it's so, in this time, especially like all the just the garbage that happened this year with the speaking out movement, all that stuff, I think it's so cool. a promotion like Shimmer and a promotion like Shine are so important to have around because they're building women's talent in a really good atmosphere, and they have a good name behind it, and they have just really good quality matches. So I'm a big fan of Shimmer. They have, you know, so many good people that you see now every week on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever night it might
every
be.
day of the week.
Yep,
4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Shoved down your throat. You better like it.
And then we're gonna do it again on Friday, damn it. So
sorry,
now that's fine. So you said you were about to move here.
I was.
Where are you moving?
Well, I wanted to move to Orlando at one point, but I think I actually found a really cool area in Vegas, which is like near the airport, because my main concern is being near an airport because I know I'm going to have to be flying everywhere. I was like, the reason why I was doing Orlando was because I know a bunch of people there because they're in WWE. But then I thought about it. It's like, do I really want to be around that? You know, I don't. Because I know the stress that these people are under, you know, and you hear all the horrible shit they have to go through. I just knew in myself that if I was to situate myself there, it just wouldn't be good for anyone, you know, because I'll be like, hey, House 6 Ring of Honor, let me do whatever the hell I want, you know, and then it's like,
no, I have to delete my Twitch today, okay?
Yeah, I can't play games online. So it's like, well, shit. You know, I don't want to be that guy. But yeah.
That's awesome. Vegas, have you been to Vegas before?
No, I haven't. I've been to New York. I loved New York. Absolutely.
New York City, been in the city of New York, like New York City?
Yeah, I was in Manhattan. Yeah, I loved.
Yeah.
I rented a little room, so I was in some Airbnb. A guy that lived there, he just let me have this little room, and I just loved New York because it was just, I know they say the city never sleeps, but like I genuinely walked around the street, and I would never do that in Australia because I'm terrified of getting jumped. But for some reason, I felt jumped, like attacked.
Yeah, no, I'm just confused why you think New York is safer than Australia.
Well, that's the thing. So when I was there all alone, for some reason, I felt so safe walking around at like midnight, you know. It was I think it was just a me thing.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. That's not good. You know, I
know.
As a New Yorker of 33 plus years, no, don't do that. I would highly recommend against it. If you're gonna,
I don't know what happened. It's like it brought out a different side of me. So I spent every day just walking around for hours on end. I just was so in love with this place, you know. So yeah, I loved New York. Yeah.
Okay, Vegas is like that, but with way more strippers. So if that's like,
yeah,
there are strippers in airports in Vegas. It's like living in like hell, but like not the hell.
Yeah, look, I live in a country town in Australia, so if I can find like the equivalent of that in America, that would be amazing. I just don't know. I can't plan anything at the moment. It's so hard to be like, I want to go here because I don't know what's happening with the whole world.
So that begs the question. I know the Pure title tournament was announced right as the Quest for Gold was, and Ring of Honor is in their bubble right now, and they just completed the Pure tournament.
Yeah.
Has there been any word on the Quest for Gold tournament or bringing, I mean, because Ring of Honor, their roster right now, I mean, it's like UK, Australia, Wales. So getting everybody over there must be so difficult. Have we heard anything about that?
The only thing that we know is that they are working on the visas, but even if we have visas, like Ring of Honor still have to have shows planned. And for them to do that bubble that they did, that took so much work. And that's just for one tournament. So for them to start thinking about the next one, like it wouldn't be realistic to start planning that until next year because there's no way you can get it done this year. Right. So for us, it's just about getting a visa, getting the exemption. And for Ring of Honor, it's that they need to have the events to have a reason to bring us over. Like,
right, they're not going to bring you over and be like, just hang out here for 6 months and see what happens.
Yeah, just hang out here, you know, go protest. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want any of us.
Oh, you got America down. Yeah, that's nailed it. That's what we do over here, it sounds like. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's talk of it, but there's nothing really set in stone. And listen, if they're taking care of the talent, and everybody we spoke to said that, I think that's amazing, and that's so good for them. Before you get to Ring of Honor, though, can we stop associating with Vincent? I saw you make a post the other day saying you're gonna like this guy, you like the way he's doing stuff. Get rid of the Vincent stuff. No. made go, let's drop the Vincent.
Blasphemy.
No, we're not.
I will not hear ill of that man. Okay, I don't even know him, but I love what I know of him. What wants to go?
He went from being Ed Hardy to Rob Zombie in a matter of like a year and a half. Frankly, I don't want the association because he's a little scary. Okay, he carries
Ed Hardy. I never saw his Ed Hardy thing.
Oh, you okay?
Oh no, you're gonna ruin it.
I'm gonna ruin this for you. Look at early Vincent, and the man is. If Affliction was a walking person, it would have been Vincent.
No.
Yeah.
Is he wearing the t-shirts?
Oh, it's almost body painted on. Yeah, I'll find it. I'll send some stuff to you. But before you go making any associations, go in the Ring of Honor library and make sure you know who you're,
Ew, all right.
teaming up with. Yeah. Well, Las Vegas is not much different. Las Vegas is a very Ed Hardy-esque area, so I want you getting prepared for that.
Ed Hardy reminds me of like being a teenager and just like boys smelling like cologne, poisoning your nostril. Oh,
yeah. Not Ed Hardy, the original tattooer, of course. That's totally different. But Ed Hardy, all that stuff.
That shitty, yeah.
Yeah. I have in big letters over here. Why do you like Vincent? So I'm glad we got that out of the way now.
Well, now I don't. So I hope you're happy.
Hear that, Vincent? Mm-hmm.
I hate you.
Yeah. Listen, there's I know you grew up a wrestling fan. I have to ask you this question. We ask everybody that comes on the show, and it just tears Joe and I right down the middle like the Civil War.
Oh.
You have to choose one side here. Okay. There's no down the middle. There's Team Bret Hart. There's Team Shawn Michaels. I need you to pick one.
I'm gonna have to say Bret.
Let's go.
Now, the reason why is because
I'm just happy.
When I was younger and I was watching WWE, I felt I never liked HBK and I could never put a word to it. I just never liked him as a kid. I loved Triple H. I didn't like HBK. Even when he was a face, I didn't like him. And I still don't know why I don't like him. I don't know. There's just some wrestlers that everyone liked. Like Rey Mysterio. As a kid, I never was a fan. I just didn't. As a kid, I liked Raven, But like as a kid, I liked Steve Blackman. For some reason.
Nobody likes Steve Blackman. There's no.
Oh, are you serious? His entrance.
There's so many things that you just said that I'm awestruck.
Sorry, I can't believe I just did.
Yeah, but the fact that you said you never liked HBK, I know Joe's on mute and you can't see.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry.
You just broke everything. We've had probably like 100 to 150 people on the show, and I've asked everybody that, and you are maybe the fifth person that is on Team Bret Hart, and it's so refreshing to see that somebody finally knows the truth. I know you're muted, Joe. I know you can hear this whole thing. The truth, buddy. But as a Raven guy,
he's gonna mute that. He's not gonna let that be in the podcast.
He's gonna edit everything and make it sound like you said Bret Hart sucks. Probably.
Yeah, it'll be like Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler.
Like just the worst overdub you've ever heard. Yeah, Raven was a great guy. Did you get any ECW? Or was that you became a fan?
I was way too young, and we didn't have cable. So the only ECW I saw was I borrowed the Rise and Fall of ECW, and that's when I first saw like Sandman and stuff, and I was like, holy shit! And seeing Raven there, I couldn't believe what I missed out on.
WWF Hardcore Raven.
Yeah, because like WWE Raven was cool. But then to see ECW Raven where he's, trying to steal Sandman's son and turning him into, what it was, I couldn't believe it.
Literally crucifying the man in front of Kurt Angle. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's the drama I love, love, love about wrestling. And that's why I feel like today's wrestling is so empty almost. And every now and then there's little, there's sometimes it reminds me why I love it and I watch it and everything. But then seeing the stuff that's on TV at the moment is just like, it's hard. It's like a chore. It becomes a chore and it shouldn't.
Yes, it'd be tough to, like you said, believability. And you want people to buy into you as a person and be like a real, like Raven's character when he's saying "quote the Raven nevermore" and he's hitting Tommy Dreamer and he's got Dreamer crucified, like that stuff. Like I was a kid screaming at my television. It was like 1997, and Jerry Lawler caned Tommy Dreamer in the testicles, and he actually hit him. And he let out this blood-curdling scream, and I screamed. My mom was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "He's gonna die! He's dying!" And like that shit hooked me as a kid, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And like there are some things that do that today, and I think it's so hard to get that level of emotional.
It really is. And you know what I fucking hate? Like growing up, you know, I used to be terrified of Kane. I was terrified of the people you were meant to be terrified of because they did their job. So I grew up, I remember crying when Kane burnt JR one time, like bawling my eyes out. And there's JR, oh God, on the floor. Anyways, I remember finding out that Kane's real name was Glenn Jacobs. And I'm telling you now, it crushed me. It ruined everything. I saw Kane,
white person,
Glenn Jacobs. I know. And then he was wearing a polo in a shirt. So I was like, what the fuck? And now these days, we're so open that it's just ruined everything. The biggest hills on television, like Bray Wyatt will post something and then he's posting a picture with his kid. It's like, that's cool, but you're robbing people of, you know, the magic. Like, why do you want, like, I just don't get it.
We understand what it is too, you know, like we're hip to it, but like a guy like MJF, he is a douche. Everywhere I'm sorry, but him giving little like 5-year-old kids the finger is the greatest thing I've ever seen in convention. Like that's
brilliant.
It's amazing, and people like I want to punch him in the face, but
a
little good. Like and then you're like I don't know, is he really an asshole in real life?
Exactly.
He's from about 20 minutes from where Joe and I live. Spoiler: everybody from Plainview's an asshole. So yeah, he definitely is. Long Island has a bad rap for a reason. But I think it's so cool that for you to like hone in on that, doing that with what Ring of Honor is allowing you to do on their YouTube platform.
Yeah.
So I hope we had tickets to I don't know, the show was Galaxy Quest. It was the Ring of Honor Future Quest. There was a New York show that they had planned during the pandemic that Joe and I were going to be at front row that got canceled. That's fine. Thanks a lot.
I think I was booked for a bunch of shows for Ring of
that was
Honor.
the loop. It was Quest for Gold. It was Philly, New York.
Oh, don't. My heart.
Yeah, I'm not from. There's another promotion. I'm not going to mention names. I canceled the show in April. Still hasn't refunded me. Thanks, guys. I'm looking at you, Gabe. Sorry, I said
Gabe
your name.
Sapolsky.
Gabe Sapolsky.
That motherfucker would call up Teddy's house all the time, and Teddy would go, "It's Gabe on the phone. Hang up on that motherfucker."
Well, now I know why. Because we had four tickets for one show, and they canceled the show in April, and it's like $300. They haven't refunded us.
That's a lot of money. That's not like a $30 ticket. That's
no, it's not,
lot.
And it's 4 tickets. So, Gabe, I'm saying the name. That's right. I'm so bitter about that. And
Gabe,
they got enough money. Give it. Listen, Glenn Jacobs. Okay. Sounds like a guy online at Chipotle right now. I'm just.
Very good.
So, what do you got planned? So we're going to be playing World of Warcraft. We're in the gym. We're just going to focus on doing you until everything comes back up.
Pretty much. I'll be releasing some more videos, and I will hopefully make my way to America soon. But like the good news is I might be wrestling in another state here, maybe next month. That's if the borders come down. So if that happens, I'll actually be in the ring, and knowing my luck, I'll injure myself. So.
Oh, come on.
Dude, you have no idea. My bad luck began when I was a kid, and I finally got the Sims game for the computer, right? Now, I have been dreaming of this Sims game for years.
I don't know. I just love the fact this story started with the Sims. I'm so into the story.
I had the game, I put it in, and it errored. Ever since then, I'm not even joking. Every time something good happens, I know that something bad's going to happen. And it's true. I get signed, the pandemic. I finally get my GTA game. It doesn't work. You know, all these things, really important things going wrong.
Yeah, you know what? Getting signed and then the pandemic, like the next week, that's all right. Have you ever thought about saging? Maybe like a cleansing of yourself, like saging?
Okay. Don't get started on that. I did my tarot cards the other night. Don't begin.
No, you do tarot cards?
Mate, yes, I'm into all that supernatural shit.
My wife made me do the tarot cards thing once, and I pulled whatever card it was. Like it wasn't the death card, because the death card's not really that bad, right?
No, it's not. That means new
Was
life.
there a tower card? What
Tower
card?
is a bad one.
Yeah, that's the fucking one that I pulled, and I
Yeah.
got literally mad at her for like 3 days.
How dare you?
Yeah, she gave me the damn Tower of Doom. I think Kevin Sullivan.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Well, we are all in on you getting back to Ring of Honor, and if you're going to be wrestling next month, we look forward to it. Where can we social media follow?
Yeah.
And
sure.
tees.com/Kellyanne Fiend Club, by the way.
Yes.
You have some awesome Misfits inspired t-shirts.
Yep.
So where on social media? Sorry for cutting you off.
Awesome. Oh, my social media, Kellyanne Fiend Club on Instagram, Kellyanne Fiend C on Twitter, and Kellyanne Fiend Club on Facebook. And don't expect any gym selfies or anything like that. And 9 times out of 10, I probably won't talk to you, but I'll be good in the ring. So that's all that matters.
That's the kind of honesty I feel like we've been missing in the year 2020.
I'm really bad at small talk. I hate it. It makes me angry. When someone messages me and goes, "Hey, how are you?" Nah, that's it.
You know what? Okay. Well, on that note, now I feel like a total asshole because I was
hey, you sent a dog.
I did. I wish Chance was down here. He's so too. And it was like 6 a.m. your time, so it was like really the worst.
Yeah.
But, we can't thank you enough. I know you said you don't do podcasts. You should. You're a pleasure to talk to. It was so entertaining. I hope everybody out there is excited to see you back in the ring, hopefully sooner rather than later. If my brain and your mom's brain is right, it's probably going to be right after the election. That's what I'm feeling. Just throwing that out there.
I don't know who I want to win, though, because I feel like you're done either way.
Oh, no, we have no future. I give them 8 months. 8 months and we'll be like a subcontinent in Antarctica floating somewhere. There's nothing good happening over here. That's it.
That's it.
Kellyanne Fiend Club and Kellyanne Fiend C on Twitter. Do not small talk. No, send funny gifts maybe.
Yeah.
That's
it. Or send me a question or like.
Whoa. Last guy that sent you a question didn't really work out well, so I wouldn't even send a question. Just say, hey, you know what? I bought your shirt and send a picture.
Yeah. That's it.
That'll be it.
Done.
Well, best of luck to you. Stay safe,
awesome.
And we look forward to hearing back from you real soon.
No worries. Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome. That's it for another edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast, and we are tapping out.
Best friends.